So next up, we have one that I have seen before. I have already broken it down pretty deeply, too. I went really deep on this one, symbolism-wise, and what I thought they were trying to say with the visuals of the video. But I'm not going to skip it because I don't know. Like, when I reacted to it, it was as a standalone video. I need to know now, how does it fit into this overall arc of this album? This is Childhood.
Staying up late at night, imagining all kinds of settings, dreaming about my life. Everything seems so possible then. Now I don't even dream. Sick of feeling low again. Saying that I'm the one, thinking the world revolved around me, hoping for someone to come and save me from this story. Now I don't even need. Sick of waiting on my dream. Don't forget when you're a child. 시간이 흘러도 let it stay in your mind. Don't live your life like you have 1,000 years, ready for you to waste your time on regrets. Don't you ever, you'll never. 잊고 살지 마. 네 머릿속에 있던 꿈들 더 묻지 마. 세상이 너를 더럽혀도 빼앗기지 마. 그 맑고 순수했던 동심을. Don't forget when you're a child. 시간이 흘러도 let it stay in your mind. Don't live your life like you have 1,000 years, ready for you to waste your time on regret.
What an amazing song and video. Those voices, the harmonies, the simplicity of the acoustic. I'm going to mention just a couple things. And if I repeat things that I may have said in the initial reaction, forgive me. But one thing that stuck out to me, and I don't know if I picked up on it before, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. There's a few transitions that happen where we go from the original high definition footage and we go into a watercolor. Who noticed that? This happens a few times. Right here. We go into a watercolor effect. To me, this song and video has a lot of purity to it. The music is very pure. The voices are very pure. They actually say pure in the lyrics. We go from like birth, okay, here. We start off with watercolor, and I think there's a reason. I'm going to get to that. We go from a very pure stage of human all the way till these people are essentially waking up. They're coming to life in the woods.
Everything seems so possible.
Okay, and they're all stripped down. You notice a lot of the movements are very similar to each other. So I feel like this could be representative of humanity and how we mimic each other. We have mirror neurons that kind of play off of each other. And I think there are, well, not me thinking, but some studies say that things like that, where we mirror each other, are in our DNA. Like the reason we have evolved for so long is in part by things like that, where I see another person and I can mirror them in a certain way, and then both of us feel less threatened, right? There's an evolutionary aspect to that. That's a whole different animal, okay? But the purity of this video, I think, is represented in several ways outside of the music, the stripped down actors and dancers and the group. We get down to the water, right? We get down to these very simple movements. But even when we go to these scenes where it goes from HD to watercolor, here's what I think that represents. In this shot with the guys, there's a lot of detail, okay? When we go to the watercolor, there's less detail. There's more of just a general outline. There's a purity to this, I think, because it's not as clear. It's almost like, you know, when they talk in the lyrics, which I'll read here in a second, about childhood, they say, like, don't forget when you were a child and you had this imagination. You didn't worry about the things that you worry about now. It's like as we get older, we become jaded. Life beats the hell out of us in different ways, and it does things to us. It makes us scared. It makes us vulnerable. We become afraid of things that we never even knew were a thing when we were children. And we run around as children just kind of like doe-eyed and innocent because life hasn't really happened to us at that point. So there's a purity there. I think the watercolor kind of represents that purity. As a child, you don't have all of this detail that you have as an adult. You don't have all of this information like we see here. Look at all the information in this shot. You can see the direction that the light's coming from. You can see the haircuts, the earrings, the nipples, the whole enchilada. But then when we go back to that child's perspective, it becomes a lot more blurry. There's still a beauty to it. We can still tell for the most part what's happening, but it doesn't feel as sharp. You see what I mean? Even down to the details of, this is the last few frames in the video. You notice the first couple of frames? Right here. This is where we started. Life, right? We go through the entire experience of a human from sunrise, the sun's up, all the way to the end and the sun is setting. And they say in the lyrics, like, don't live your life like you have 1,000 years. You're just going to waste your time. Let's get those lyrics now, shall we? Childhood. Staying up late at night, imagining all kinds of settings, dreaming about my life, everything seemed so possible then. Now I don't even dream. I'm sick of feeling low again. Saying that I'm the one, thinking the world revolved around me, hoping for someone to come and save me from this story. Now, I don't even lean. Sick of waiting on my dreams. Don't forget when you were a child. Even when time passes, let it stay in your mind. Don't live your life like you have 1,000 years, ready for you to waste your time on regrets. Don't you ever. You will never. Don't forget the dreams you had on your mind. Don't question yourself anymore. Even if the world pollutes you, don't let yourself be robbed of the pure innocence of childhood. You might also like. Don't forget when you were a child. Even when time passes, let it stay in your mind. Don't live your life like you have 1,000 years, ready for you to waste your time on regrets. Don't you ever. You will never. No. Should have never given up. I should have never said I can't. Judging me for who I am. Should have never listened. No. Should have followed my own dreams. It's better late than never. Yeah. Don't forget when you were a child. Even when time passes, let it stay in your mind. Don't live your life like you have 1,000 years, ready for you to waste your time on regrets. Don't you ever. You will never. No. Childhood. I think a lot of what we just discussed about this video is pretty spot on in the lyrics about the world polluting us, the world happening to us, life happening to us, and how the purity and joy that we have as children goes away. What are your thoughts? It probably won't surprise you that I like to think of myself as a giant child. It's going to be like 85 does that just show up in the chat. I do think it's possible to be an adult and do your job, pay your bills, and deal with life's responsibilities, and still sometimes maintain that wonder that is life. Do I think you walk around curious and blind? No. I think it's maybe sometimes as simple as gratitude. Yeah. All right, so let me just adjust my notes here because I am already 2 songs behind. I'm lagging in my homework. So track 1 was the Till, no title, kind of at peace, setting us up for the music of the album. 2, we had Definition of Ugly Is. Now, my breakdown and theory is that that is some essentially forced emotive process through some type of emotion. So I'm just going to say an emotional explosion. Yeah. there's a processing that's happening in song 2, definition of ugly is, without resolution. Okay. And here's another thing I think is interesting. If we take the lyrics and general theme of song 2, which was definition of ugly is, and they're singing about why am I so insecure? And well, if everybody hates me and everybody says that I don't belong here. Well, now we move into track 3, childhood, where they're talking about the world polluting us, right? So we already have kind of ties that are beginning to travel through the songs. Ash, I don't think that's stupid at all. The fact that they are shirtless. It makes them seem as their inner children. Absolutely. I think everything is done on purpose. Wow. It's like having people in your life that want you to be someone else you wanted to be, or you are. So sometimes you are losing you. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Children are like blank slates. Absolutely. Or the guys in the video, I suppose, are like blank slates. So 3 was childhood. We've got that purity. Don't live your life like you have 1,000 years.